Hello, my darlings. So we have today's work is going to be Pret, taal. So we're going to have some fun with our language activity. We've got a lot of work to do today, but you have 75 minutes to get it done. If you're working at home, you have a little more time than that, but it's a lot of activity. So what I suggest you do is you listen to me explain each section and then you complete the task. And then you move on to the next activity so that you don't forget what is required of you. So if we can turn to page oop na bladsy 111, afdeling A, section A. This first section is talking about ontkenning. Now when we talk about ontkenning, we talk about the negative form of something. So if I gave you an instruction, for example, sit down, and you say, no, I will not sit down. But in Afrikaans, we have a different way of saying it. So in the textbook, there's a word there that says voorbeeld. That word means example. So let's look at that example. So the instruction to this person is sit. And then the person says, nee, no. Ek wil nie sit nie. I won't sit. Now the confusion comes in when we confuse the word nie with near. Near means no, and nie is loosely translated to not. But when we write it in Afrikaans, we have to fit two nies in and one near at the beginning of the sentence. So let's kyk na die antwoord. Look at the answer. The answer starts off with near, comma, ek wil nie sit nie. I will not sit. No. Kind of no at the end. So here's an example. Number 1 says, the instruction is staan. Stand. And the response is nee. Ek wil nie staan nie. Your verb usually goes at the end, but because we're busy with ontkenning, your nie finishes off the sentence, all right? Number 2, lê. I'm saying lay down now. And you are saying nee, ek wil nie lê nie. And you'll notice there's a kappie op die ear, a little cap on the E there, because it helps us with pronouncing that letter correctly. Number 3, lees. You must read now. And you are saying nee, ek wil nie lees nie. All right. Remember, there's a spelling difference and there's a meaning difference between nee and nie. Afdeling B op bladsy 112. So section B on page 112 is talking about pronouns, right? Voegwoorde. And so I just want you to write them down as they are in your textbook and read them in English and in Afrikaans as they are, and then read them in English. So here's the first example for you. Ek het 'n pen. So, I have a pen. So, dit is my pen. It is my pen. And I can also say dit is myne. It is mine. Jy het 'n pen. You have a pen. Dit is jou pen. It is your pen. Dit is joune. It is yours. Hy het 'n pen. He has a pen. Dit is sy pen. It is his pen. Dit is syne. It is his. Sy het 'n pen. She had a pen. Dit is haar pen. It is her pen. Dit is hare. It is hers. Ons het penne. We have pens. Dit is ons pen. It is our pens. Dit is onsin. It is ours. Julle het pen. You guys have pens. Dit is julle penne. It is your pen. It belongs to all of you. Dit is julle sin. It is yours. Hulle het penne. They have pens. Dit is hulle penne. It is their pens. Dit is hulle sin. It is theirs. All right. No, afdeling C, section C. ons werk met voornaamwoorde. So we're going to practice what we learned in section B and pick the correct one in the sentence. So you must write the full sentence and you must pick the correct word and you must underline it with your color pencil. So here's an example there. Voorbeeld. Die seun lees sy boek. The boy reads his book. Dit is it syne, his, of dit is hare, hers. Ons praat van 'n seun. We're talking about a boy. So is it his or is it hers? You must pick the correct one. And you must write the full sentence and underline your answer. Hey, don't be lazy. So you'll do this, all of that for 1, 2, 3 and 4. Dan kom ons by bladsy 113, 113, afdeling D, section D. Ons werk met voegwoorde. Now these are conjunctions, and I remember teaching you this, and if you go back to your revision notes, that when we join with omdat, in the second sentence your verb goes to the end. But if you are joining with want, you just put a comma before your conjunction and you leave the sentence as is, right? So here's an example for you. Voorbeeld. Ek lees graag die koerant. Dit vertel die nuus. I read this newspaper. It tells the news. So we want to put want in there. Want is also a form of the word because. So we're saying, ek lees graag die koerant, comma, want dit vertel die nuus. Now if you look at number 1 there, the conjunction they want you to use is the word omdat. And when we use omdat, we look at our second sentence, we find the verb, and the verb must get chucked to the end. So for number 1, your answer will be, or the sentences are, ek hou van lees, I like reading, ek lees graag stories, I read lots of stories. So we want to make these two sentences one, and we want to glue them together with the word omdat, and my verb must go to the end. So in my second sentence, what is my verb? What is my action there? What am I doing? Ek lees, ne? Lees is your verb. So your answer will be, ek hou van lees, comma, omdat. And now ek changes to a small letter because we're continuing with the sentence, right? Ek graag stories lees, verb at the end, right? When we're using want, we keep the word order. When we use omdat, the verb goes to the end. Number E, now at section E, you must ask somebody to read this story, the sentence to you. Die seun sit op die mat en luister na die story wat juffrou lees. And then you must write that sentence without looking. You must spell the words from your mind, and you must put the full stop and the capital letters where they belong. So there's a dictea, it's a dictation. Somebody must read to you, and then you must write it. Afdeling F, section F, ons praat van teenoorgesteldes. We are talking now about opposites. So you are going to write the full sentence, and then you look at the word that's in dark print, die vetdruk. Nommer 1 sê, ek lees al vinnig, maar my boetie lees nog. So what this person is saying, I read very quickly, fast, but my little brother, he reads. So what is the opposite of the word vinnig? First you need to understand what vinnig means. Then if you don't know, you must go and check your dictionary, but you should know this one, eh? So you look, what is the meaning of vinnig? Then you think, what is the opposite of vinnig? And you fill your answer daarin. And you must underline your answer with the color pencil. You moet 2 en 3 doen. And you must skip a line after each one. Los 'n lyn. Number G, section G. All you need to do here is write them out in your book, because these are synonyms. They are another word for. So instead of saying maat, I can say vriend. Instead of saying luister, ek kan hoor sê. I can say here. Instead of saying korrek, Dis correct, dis correct, dis correct. I can say dis reg. Instead of saying albei, I can say albei. It means both of them. Okay. So you have lots of work to do. Please don't take shortcuts. Write everything out in full sentences. Arrange your work neatly. I'm going to send you a page of how to set out your work, and you must do your best work. And then I'll see you all on Monday, because everybody must come to school for Monday's assessments from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the following week. All right. If you don't come in for your assessments, you're going to not get a good mark. You're actually going to get 0. So it's better that you come in for that assessment. The only way you can stay absent is if you have a doctor's note because you are legitimately sick. That means you are sick for real. If you are not sick, you must come and write, and then you can go home. Okay. God bless, and I will chat to you tomorrow.